Hello and welcome to another episode of my so-called fabulous life. I am your host for today, Shawn Lee House, and we are going to talk life is the best teacher. So, for you who may just be tuning in, I am soon to be an empty nester. So, I started this podcast to kind of talk about certain things that I'm experiencing through um, my daughter's senior year. The growing pains, the emotions tied to your only child graduating, and the journey that got you here. So, so today I wanted to talk about life being um, the best teacher. What I've realized and I've understand is that we think that we have the answers or we long for answers, but we just have to live life and understand that our experiences that we have shape who we are, how we handle conflict, how we accept love, how we give love. Um, and that is one of the realities that as an adult now, I am thinking back to when I was younger and how I was loved, what I was shown, my family, my friends, things of that nature. And so I'm learning that as Jasmine grows up and she grows into this young lady that she is going to be, she's her own individual. She doesn't need to be her mom. She doesn't need to be her dad. She just needs to be whoever she's going to be. And I'm realizing that she's going to have experiences and she's going to go through things that I have no control over. Not that I want to have control over, but that I'll have no control over. And how she reacts to those experiences will shape the woman she becomes. So I think it's important that us as parents provide our children and young adults, children, teens, whatever, with the right tools to process through conflict of any kind. Because conflict doesn't necessarily have to be anything that's bad. It could be a situation at work or something to where you don't believe in what is happening, and so you're not accepting of it. So that's some conflict. So I feel like when it comes to providing Jasmine with the tools, I feel like that I've done that. However, I am really discovering that you can give somebody all the tools in the toolbox, but they got to apply them and use them. And when that doesn't happen, I feel like we're disappointed as a parent. I feel like we feel like we didn't do a good job or whatever. And that's not necessarily the case. The kids are going to go through what they're going to go through. They're going to process how they process. And it's just up for us. It's up to us to be there to help guide them and navigate them through the tough times. I feel that wholeheartedly. But what I'm learning through this process is that I've said this before, I feel like everyone needs a therapist because we're in a world where there's so much information at our fingertips. Processing through it, it's hard not to compare your life to other people's life that you see on social media. It's so hard. For people who say, oh, I don't compare myself to other people. Yeah. You might not, but there's a part in you that sees this person has X, Y, and Z, and you would like X, Y, and Z, or how did they get X, Y, and Z? I've been doing this. I have this degree. I have that degree. Why am I not further along than I am? It happens. It just happens. I don't care what anybody says. It happens. So I've been processing through some things. And what I've learned is that I have to give myself some grace and allow myself to grow through the past disappointments. Everything that I've gone through that has broken my heart, left me feeling defeated, challenging everything that I know, causing me to doubt um, so many different things. And so I have to give myself grace. And I encourage everybody, give yourself grace because you don't know what you don't know until you don't know it, you know? So yeah. I know that sounds a little confusing, but yeah. So I saw something today. It says, I owe myself an apology for allowing others to be comfortable mistreating me. Now, again, grace. So, again, I'm going to read that again. I owe myself an apology for allowing others to be comfortable mistreating me. And I thought about this for a few moments. I said, I do owe myself an apology because in addition to me growing past the disappointment, I realized the accountability part for me is that I allowed people to treat me a certain way. I did not set clear boundaries. I did not communicate or be vocal about what I did not like, how I did not like to be treated, and how I felt in my emotions. And so that allowed people to be comfortable mistreating you, whether that is saying smart stuff to you or talking behind your back, and you know they're talking behind your back. But it allows you to, sitting back and thinking about it, it allows you to think about like, I could have said something. I could have made clear that these are my expectations for you dealing with me or us being in, having a friendship or having a relationship. These are my expectations. If these expectations cannot be met at any given time, then, okay, but these are my expectations. So, and that's with anything like friendships, lovers, whatever. I feel like a conversation has to be had. And it's one of those things, it's like a check-in. Like say you're in a relationship, right? And so it's important that you check in, I say quarterly. See how it's going. Hey, how are we doing in this relationship? Is this relationship going the way we want it to go? What can we do better? Whatever the case may be. Even in friendships, I feel like it's important that we check in with our friendships because you may think that you're being this amazing friend, but does your friend think that you're being an amazing friend? How many times have we asked our friends or our loved ones? Well, I asked Jasmine on I stopped asking her as much. Am I a good mom? Do you think that I'm a good mom? And she gets, yes, mama, why do you always ask me this? Yada, 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 yada. So I'll ask her that, but I've not asked my friends. And I'm just sitting here thinking like, am I a good friend? Am I a good friend to you? What is it that you need from me as a friend? I haven't sat down and said that or asked that question. Or even in my past relationships to just ask, am I a good girlfriend? I guess good girlfriend. Am I a good girlfriend to you? What is it that you need from me? Is there something that I can improve on or whatever? And as I'm thinking about it and I'm saying this out loud, I am like, why don't we do that? Is it because we don't want to know the real answer because we can't handle the real answer? Or are we going to feel like, oh, something's wrong with me? I don't know. But I feel like that's something that we should start doing. I feel like we should sit down, write down what we've learned in the past year. We'll just go by what we've learned in the past year about ourselves and about the relationship that we're in, if you're in a relationship or marriage or whatever, in your relationships with your kids and your friends or whatever, and just sit back and think about what you've learned in the past year. Then next, reflect on the certain situations of the past, how you handled them, and think about how you would handle them now. So think about last year, think about now, and see where the growth is. And even if there's a little growth, it's still worth celebrating. Because I have been learning that it doesn't matter how big the growth is still growth. And with that being said, I am going to start having better conversations with, my loved ones, my family and my friends, my tribe, because I want to make sure that I'm being a good friend, a good aunt, well, Jasmine tells me I'm being a good mom. So I'm going to take her word for it because I think I am a fabulous mom. But just have those questions and just see the answers, because at the end of the day, I think that I might be surprised at what people would say. And I can't take it personal because it's how they feel. And with me asking the question, I want to be open to receiving what they're saying and listening, because I think that that's going to help me through this next chapter in my life, because I'm gonna have some time to reflect and just sit still, which is my favorite thing to do in the entire world, is to sit still and do absolutely nothing. I need everybody to understand that. I don't mind being at home and doing absolutely nothing. You wanna know why? Because it feels good to just think, process, meditate, and be in tune with stillness and self. I think that is super, super, super important. So, life is the best teacher. If I could give any advice to anybody listening or watching this, don't be so hard on yourself. Take a moment to understand that your encounters with people, your difficulties, your trials, everything that you've gone through has shaped who you are and how you handle, again, being loved, how you handle conflict, and how you love. Just pay attention to what it is that you should be learning through life experiences, because life is teaching us a lot. I was thinking about social media. So I was thinking about social media. Here we have social media, and I'm on social media because that's the thing, right? I'm on social media. I'm recording this so that I can put this on social media. So social media is a thing now. And so I think about how much we take in and ingest of this world that is snippets of someone's life, conversation, day in and day out and day in and day out. And I can see how social media can be tied to anxiety, depression, and even suicide. And it sounds really sad, but I see how it all happens. And I think that we have to be very careful on what we are saying yes to and what we are exposing our minds to. When we're scrolling, I found myself to doing like a scroll detox. So sometimes stuff comes up and you're like, what the heck? And so I make sure that if somebody posts something that I am uncomfortable seeing, or I wish not to see, or I feel like for me, I don't need to take in that content, I just unfollow them. I delete them, and I'm okay with that. Because at the end of the day, I have to be in control of what I feed my mind. And it's easy to get lost down the rabbit hole of social media and scrolling. Now, everybody is guilty of, you start looking at something, you scroll, next thing you know, it's an hour or 2 hours later. And it's like, wait, what? Yeah, everybody's guilty of it. Everybody does it. So I've just challenged yourself to kind of like detox from the social media. And when I'm saying detox from the social media, I am saying pay attention to what's in your feed. Pay attention to what you are seeing. And if it makes you feel any type of way other than amazing and inspiring, delete it, unfollow, get rid of it. Because at the end of the day, what you're taking in does matter, and how you process and what you put out into the universe. I believe that wholeheartedly. What you put out into the universe, so what you take in and what you give back will wholeheartedly, yeah, yeah. So yeah, life as a teacher. Life is the best teacher. Um, so speaking of that, I am doing a thing. I am starting a new show. It's called Picture Perfect with Shawn Lee, and this show is super awesome. I am super excited about it because a couple of years ago I did the Empower Live. So I went live and I would talk to a business owner or someone in the community that I knew, a part of my network, and we would have a conversation and we would answer questions and had good dialogue. And so I wanted to bring that back because I felt like that was received very well. And so I'm bringing that back, and it's Picture Perfect with Shawn Lee. So the concept of the show is to um, highlight people in the community, talk to people in the community that I know that's in my network, um, and just get to know them. Just get to know them. The certain topics we'll talk about. I'll ask them their top five, and the top five could be anything. And then I'm going to ask them 5 questions. Those 5 questions are going to be curated by me for the topic that we have that day. And then some of them I've taken pictures of them. So we'll highlight their pictures. And some I just took their pictures and they haven't seen their pictures. So they will get to reveal their photos. I'll get to reveal their photos for the first time for you guys to see. They haven't even seen them. So you guys and them will see them at the same time. So that's coming out on March 18th, and you can find all the episodes will be on Shawn Lee House TV on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Yeah, it's going to be everywhere. So, yeah, to follow me, like, and subscribe to the new shiny YouTube channel where Picture Perfect with Shawn Lee will be housed. I'm super excited about that. And then there's another segment of the show. It's called Ask Shawn Lee. So if you want some advice, or you have a question that you want to ask, or a topic, or even a topic that you would like for me to discuss with a guest, or if you want to be a guest on Picture Perfect, shoot me a DM. Again, Shawn Lee House TV on all social media, or email me, info@shawnleehouse.com. And I'll make sure that I'll put the link and all the information below so that you guys can, go ahead and send your questions and all that good stuff. Prom is coming up. So I feel like the next time I might have record something. It could be a prom update because I know I'll be super emotional because this is senior year. But yeah, so life is the best teacher. The walkaways from this, the takeaways from this is to give yourself grace and process through the emotions, and all growth is to be celebrated. Big or small, all growth should be celebrated. And get a therapist. I'm going to say that. If I say that every episode, I'm going to say that every episode. But get a therapist so you can process and navigate through this world. It is super, super, super important. So I'm out of here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. And until next time, be good to yourself. Yeah, be good to yourself.